Hi, I'm Jordan Green, and I'm the Director of Product and Partner Strategies for Optimize Social Media. In 2012, we created Optimize Social Media to help automotive business owners achieve success on social media. Over the years, as our clients' needs have evolved, so have our services. We are your all-in-one digital marketing solution, continually innovating and building better solutions for automotive businesses just like yours. Optimize Social Media, optimize digital marketing. We're not just social media anymore.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Pryweller, Director of Conference and Event Content for Tire Business. Welcome to this session of Ask the Expert. These sessions are your chance to engage live with professionals on a range of topics and interact with questions. Today's Ask the Expert is sponsored by Optimize Social Media. Our experts today are Jason Strand, Director of Digital Marketing, and John Napoli, Web Director of Optimize. In this session, Jason and John will connect the dots between your advertising and automotive repair websites so that you can prove ROI. Jason and John will answer your questions after the presentation is completed. To submit a question, email tbevents@crane.com, or if you're watching along on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, you can submit a question via those platforms. With that, I will turn things over to Jason Strand and John Napoli of Optimize Social Media. John, we'll start with you today. The floor is yours.
Thanks for the introduction, Joe. Thank you, everyone, for making time out of your day, investing in your business. I really like to describe today's class as how we take that customer from the couch to the cash register. Optimize Social Media. We've been around since 2012. We are laser focused in the tire and automotive industry and really helping the independents and service automotive repair shops succeed with their social media. We've grown from 5 employees to 80 plus employees, and we currently help over 3,000 locations in North America. A little bit about myself. 22 years in the tire and automotive industry, sold my first website back in 2000. I run our website department and also key accounts here. Jason manages our digital marketing for not only Optimize Social Media, but our strategy for our customers as well. And if we get into today's agenda, we're going to see that the talking points we're going to be going over how your website and digital advertising should work together. What should go on my website? Always my favorite question. We'll break that down into the 4 goals. Digital marketing platforms, which ones are the best? How do my website and digital marketing work together? We're going to go through a case study, and then we'll answer some questions at the end. So the good old question, what should go on my website? And, I through education and talking with customers, tire and automotive repair shops, I always talk about 4 goals. What is your branding, the data that appears on the website, so services and tires, communication, allowing your customers to easily communicate back and forth with you, whether it be through forms. And then the 4th one is transactions. And I always describe this as putting a cash register on your website. If people want to give you a credit card, let them give you a credit card and make that purchase today. So if we get into the next slide, we're going to look at, a screenshot of a home page. And really, as we know, in the last 18 months, one of the big topics for me has been Core Web Vitals and that Google Chrome experience, right? Making sure that website looks great, but it loads quickly, very easy to navigate. So that branding should have the logo, it should have your colors. Those top services there, I call those the money pages of the website, right? Make it easy for your customers to find what they're looking for and be able to direct them to those pages. Then we'll get into automotive services, and this really gets into that data on the website. You should look as the service professional, the authority in your local community. So if someone wants to go to your website to read about brake repair or air conditioning repair, they're able to do that. But more importantly, that also helps with search engine optimization, right? Having those keywords in the content with their own page that can be directed back to from any type of ad that you may be running. That'll get us into the next one, which is really that the promotions. This is some type of communication, but the reason why I point out the promotions is being in a needs-driven industry, tires and automotive repair. These are the promotions that create the urgency, and it gets the customer off the couch, right? They see that they can save up to $70, $120 on a set of tires, really gets them into the brick and mortar, or at least starting to research those promotions online. They'll take us into the contact us, making it easy, right? We used to refer to this as well as the NAP, name, address, and phone number, making sure that all of that is easily found in the header, the footer. But then also, if someone wants to contact you for more information, schedule a service appointment, making sure that all those service pages are linking to those forms. And again, really easy to find. And also with your mobile devices, click to call in the header or click for an appointment. And then the last one, this is really, the fourth goal, which is the transactions. There are a lot of great shopping widgets out there. I call them tire selecting tools. As a consumer, I can enter my vehicle, and it's going to tell me what tires fit my vehicle, what is the cost or the investment, if there's any promotions that go along with that. And it really makes that customer stay on your website, make their buying decision, and then continue to do business with you versus going to another website. That's going to lead us into which digital marketing platforms are the best. Jason's going to take over here. We know that there are a lot of platforms out there. We focus on the Power 5. And I think, also besides the platforms, it really gets down to advertising on these platforms as well, having a strong approach with advertising, and then follow up with those ads, driving them to a destination, and then keeping up with those platforms on a daily basis. Jason, I'm going to hand this over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Napoli. Appreciate it. We all know that the websites are valuable, right? They bring inherent value, but I'm going to try to take it to the next level and say, how can you bring more value to your website? There are a ton of digital marketing platforms out there. You have a lot of options where you want to spend your money, but I really wanted to focus on the two that I believe are most important for you guys: Facebook and Google. Out of all marketing that you can do, if you're doing it in the digital world, these two are giants, right? They're well-known names, and that's for a reason. Facebook owns Instagram. Google owns YouTube. That's basically 4 platforms that you can deliver your advertising on if you're just using Facebook and Google alone. Facebook is more of that top-of-mind awareness, top of the funnel style advertising, whereas Google is more of that needs-based, I want to buy a service now type of marketing. They both use geo-targeting, so you can kind of hone in on the area that you want your ads to show in, so that you're not wasting any sort of advertising dollars on people that aren't going to be customers. Facebook is a lower cost, less of that direct ROI out of the box, and Google is obviously a higher cost, more demand for Google AdWords and things like that. But usually you can get more direct ROI through the tools that Google gives you. So let's talk about Facebook a little bit more. Why Facebook? Why use it? Massive and diverse audience. 2.6 billion users worldwide. Tons of those users are going to be in your area. But not only are Facebook demographics large in size, but they're also diverse. So no matter who your audience is, they're going to be on Facebook most likely. I know a lot of people think of Facebook as an older platform, but realistically, 62% of users on Facebook still fall within that 18 to 34-year-old range. And those are the customers that are just buying cars. They're going to eventually need services for them. So you want to get them as early as possible so that you can have that lifetime customer. Another reason to use Facebook is that there are multiple objectives for every goal. They have a flexibility in their campaign management system that is really nice and kind of simpler to use. I categorize all of Facebook's campaigns into 3 kind of marketing buckets. Awareness, which is, again, that top of the funnel. I want to reach as many people with my message as possible. I want my brand to be shown in my area thousands of times. You can use awareness campaigns for that. You have consideration. So a bunch of options here. Maybe you have a commercial that you're using to convince customers to go to you. instead of somebody down the street. Maybe you want them to message you and ask you questions about something that you have expertise in. And then lastly, you do have conversion options. So if you do have some of those tools like a custom conversions on your website, or you can upload your products into Facebook, which isn't as common in this specific industry, you can still manage those things and measure them through Facebook conversions. Another nice thing about Facebook is that they have a lot of creative options. So not only are they flexible in like the delivery vessel, how you want to target those customers, but you can also choose what you want to use for those creatives. Photos, videos. Obviously, most people have cell phones. If you can take a picture or a video on your cell phone, you can use those things. You can also take those photos and videos and kind of package them more creatively. So I'm going to show you a few examples of what that looks like on Facebook. Obviously, pretty simple here, an image ad. You see that you can have kind of a banner there. You can think of this as almost a digital billboard, right? You have an image that you want to use. You have some space to say a message. You have a header. But the nice thing about this is that you can track something that somebody clicks through, right? And that you can drive them to a landing page or somewhere specific. So probably the simplest option, the most flexible option too. You can use these in almost any campaign that you want, and you can take the picture yourself very, very easily. Video, a little more time consuming for you as a business owner, but very, very effective. The important thing to know is on a lot of these digital marketing platforms, they are valuing video very highly. So they're going to help your video deliver more often because they know it's more valuable to the customer. Here's an example of a video that we did. You can see that we have text in this video. We had it created professionally with graphics. That's because a lot of people on Facebook may not listen to the actual audio. So if you can, you want to create a video that has the text attached so that somebody who's scrolling through, if they don't have audio on, they can still follow along. If you don't have a professional resource like this, you can still create a video yourself, transcribe it so that it has like closed captioning on the bottom, but you do want to try to include text on there just in case somebody's not watching with audio. They do have audio, that's an added bonus, obviously, but very, very easy to create a video and use that on Facebook too. Slideshow ads. If you don't have access to create a video, I know cell phones are kind of everywhere now, but if you just have photos, right? If you have professional photos taken, you can also package that up into a nice little slideshow, and it works the same as video. Facebook treats it the same as a video where they're going to kind of deliver that more and kind of put a higher value on that specific type of creative. So it's kind of a way to work the system if you don't have video assets. And then carousel ads, if you have multiple messages, right? You can put that all into one nice little carousel ad. You can see here, each of these cards have kind of a different specific message that we have, and a consumer can click on that. They can call now. In the context of automotive repair, maybe you have one card that is showing your specials for the month. You have another card that's showing an event that's going on. And you have another card that just says, if you have questions, contact us. But the nice thing about carousel ads, you can bunch those all into one nice campaign. So if you don't have a ton of, dollars to put towards it, you can really use one and kind of leverage the power of that. Another reason to use Facebook is targeting. Obviously a huge benefit. Like it or not, Facebook knows a lot about its users just from the behaviors that they're exhibiting on Facebook itself. And you can take Facebook's knowledge about those users and deliver your campaigns to who you want. Here's an example of targeting on Facebook. We can drop a pin somewhere specific. We can use age targeting. Let's say you have a day for seniors to come in and get discounts on car repair, right? You don't necessarily want to target people 20 to 30 with an ad like that. So you do have some of those tools. You also have some interest targeting and then retargeting, which is a little bit more advanced, but you can hit people with a second or third ad if they've already done something, watched your video, gone to your website, things like that. Another nice thing about Facebook is the budget. If you have $1 a day, you can run Facebook ads. And you may think, well, is it really worth it to run $1 a day ad? But you can reach thousands of people in your area, depending on where you are, pretty easily with an ad campaign like this. So if you really wanted a low leverage way to start advertising on digital, I would suggest that you kind of start with Facebook at the very least. You can always scale that budget up as you need to. So that's enough about Facebook. Let's talk a little bit about Google. Google is more of a needs-based search. When you're hungry, you don't want to cook, what do? You search pizza delivery near me. You search best burrito in Denver. And that's because Google has that info that customers are looking for. If someone needs any sort of repair service, they're going to do the same thing. They're using Google to find a place to fix their car, and they want that fix right now. Again, Google owns two of the largest search platforms. They own Google, obviously itself, and they own YouTube. That's 86% of the search market share on the internet. So just being on Google alone, it is a very, very impactful platform. Here's another quick stat. Most popular websites worldwide in November 2021. You can see Google, YouTube, top two there with 45 and 13 billion monthly visits. You have Facebook third, and Facebook also owns Instagram, which is that one with number 7 on the list there. So these two platforms, very, very influential online. You can use specific keywords on Google. So if you work on electric vehicles, if you specialize in BMW repair, if you're an expert in a specific service, or you have ASE certified technicians, anything that you really want to bring attention to, Google lets you target those specific keywords so that, again, the search results that the customers are searching for, it's more relevant when they can find you and find exactly what they need. And that's what you really want to do, is make it easy for the customers from start to finish. I'm sure you guys have done a Google search before, but here's a quick example of how that works. If I search auto repair near me, the first results that pop up are going to be those ads, right? That means these people are bidding on some variation of auto repair near me. They're showing up at the very top of this list. 90% of people aren't going to go past, this 3-stack, let alone go to like a second page, right? So the easy way to get yourself kind of at the top of this Google search results page is by using Google Ads. Very, very powerful. Ad targeting, audience segmenting, also a very important part of Google. Geo-targeting, consumer behaviors. Google also has a lot of data just from the search input that happens on their platform. And again, you can use that data to leverage the specific audience that you're trying to find. Similar to Facebook, you can target by like an entire country, which is not necessarily very relevant for you guys, but you can target city, you can target a region, you can target a postal code, or you can do a radius like we have here. So now only everybody in this blue circle is the people that we're going to reach with our ad. So that makes sense if you know that your target audience is within 5 miles or 10 miles or however far away it is that they come to you. You can also have some powerful audience segmenting in Google, a little bit more powerful, in my opinion, than Facebook. If I hover over this list here, this in-market segment, Google knows that these people are searching for maintenance services. So they're already more qualified than somebody who's just coming across, a random ad of yours, right? Google knows that these people are searching for this and they're looking for those answers. You can also target by demographics, interests and habits, as you see here, active searches, previous interactions with your business, just like on Facebook, kind of that retargeting that I was talking about before, or any combination of these. So if you wanted to say people who are interested in maintenance services and who've watched my video, again, that is another way to kind of narrow that target audience down and really kind of find exactly who you're looking to target. So that's why you should use Facebook. That's why you should use Google. You already know a website's important. So how do these two things kind of work together seamlessly to help you make more money? It's all about the customer journey. It's changed a lot over the years. Customers don't really even need to call or talk to a business in person to make a decision whether or not they're going to spend money somewhere. And a lot of customers actually won't reach out to you directly for you to convince them, right? They need to make their decision before even talking to you. This is a traditional customer journey that most people think of, right? You have this nice, neat funnel that people learn about your business, they learn more, they consider you, they decide to buy with you, and then they purchase. But realistically, it looks more like something on the right. They're seeing you on Facebook, they're going to your website, they're getting retargeted with a Facebook ad, they see a Google ad. It's a messy process, and you want to connect all these things together as much as possible so that they feel more comfortable working with you. Consistency is huge between website and digital. Whatever it is you're saying you're advertising on Google and Facebook, you want that matching up with your website. You also want the colors to match, the brand voice to match, not only for SEO purposes, but also just to make it easier for your customers from start to finish. So an example of consistency is, let's say you have a campaign, you're driving traffic to a page. You want to use the same or similar words on those campaigns, use the same brand voice, and use the same colors and styles. So you have a Facebook ad, it's saying check out our monthly rebates. Maybe it's a little bit more generic. You have a Google ad saying $100 rebate on specific tires. Now you're directing both of those things to your website coupons page so that the customer in the end is getting the same message wherever they're going online. Huge benefit of website and digital is also measurement. Probably why you're here, to say, well, how much am I spending? How much am I making? Connecting those two things gives you better measuring tools. Every business owner wants to see that ROI. And with Google and Facebook's tools, we can actually measure a lot of that within the platforms within Google Analytics. Here's an example of a Google Analytics page that we have, right? We can see exactly where the traffic is coming from, how long they're staying, all of that good stuff. Here's another example of some of the measurement options we have within Facebook. For this specific customer, you can see that we connected their website. We were able to say how many people scheduled an appointment through their website, how many people added something to a cart, how many people checked out, and obviously 5,500 appointments. If each of those appointments is worth $200 to $300, probably not all of them are converting, but you can see the value that you can tie in to Facebook just by connecting it to your website. Same thing with Google. This person had an actual e-commerce platform. So we were able to say, we spent this much in Google ads. We had this many conversions on your website exactly. And we know that this quote was worth this dollar amount. And now we can tell this customer, hey, no matter what we spent, we made you $40,000 in this whatever period it is. So again, tying all these things in, you want to connect the dots between them, and it is very easy to do if you have the same people managing your social, your digital, and your website together. You can obviously do it and connect different third parties if you want to, but it's obviously a lot easier if you have the same message through one kind of venue. We do have a case study, so if you want to read this yourself and see how this specific business generated $29,000 worth of online quotes in 1 month, just by using $400 in Facebook ads. You can definitely download that and read that on your own time. But that concludes our presentation. We wanted to leave some time for questions. You can, like I said, you can download that case study. You can also reach out to us via our website to request a one-on-one expert evaluation. And usually we'll get back to you within about 48 hours. Or you can ask the questions here and we'd be happy to kind of address those as we go.
Great. Well, thanks, Jason and John. Terrific presentation and lots of great tools to use to increase return on investment for your business and get more eyes on your sites and look to buy tires, which is the key aspect of it. Again, if you'd like to ask a question, you can email tbevents@crane.com. You'll see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen here. Or if you're watching along on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, you can also ask a question through those platforms. I'll start with a couple questions here as we're waiting for some questions to come in. First of all, can I do all these things myself as a business owner? Is this something where you need outside help for to get some of this work done?
You can definitely do all of it yourself. The analogy I like to make is I can also change my own oil, right? I probably can't do it very well, and it would probably take me way longer than I want it to, and I would many times just rather pay an expert to do it. So you can do all these things yourself. It takes a ton of time, it takes a ton of effort, and to really leverage the full benefit of all these platforms, you should lean on somebody that knows more about what they're doing. But if you wanted to kind of investigate yourself, you can definitely do that. And we do have a bunch of resources on our YouTube, on our website that kind of tells you how to do some of these individual things. If you wanted to set up your own Facebook page, or if you wanted to post on Google My Business, or kind of whatever it is. So we try to provide those resources for business owners to definitely, experiment, dip their toes in. But we find that most people just at a certain point get overwhelmed and they don't want to be doing this job, digital marketing, on top of managing a business. So that would be my best thing. Try it yourself. If you need help, that's what we're here for.
Great. I imagine things like creating video or slideshows or that kind of thing for your site. It's better to have it look more professional in some cases.
Yes, definitely. And we do have a nationwide network of photographers, videographers. So even if that's just something that you want, right, you want more content for yourself, you can definitely reach out to us and we can hook you up with one of our professional photographers that we've kind of vetted already. makes it easy for you to get those assets without really having to do much work on the business owner's end.
Does some of this still work well if you're in a small and populated area, you're in a rural part of the country where you don't have as much around you anyway? Or do you alter your tools a little bit with some of that?
Yeah, Napoli, you or me on this one?
Well, speaking from experience, Joe, I live in a town of 397 people. And I've learned that I can say I live an hour and 20 minutes from the nearest Walmart, to put that into perspective. A lot of times, like myself or with my family, we plan out our travel usually a couple days in advance, right? My wife has Wednesdays off. So if we're going to do vehicle repairs or things like that, it's usually done on that day where she can get those things done. So actually, in a small town, I think it's more beneficial to make sure that these platforms are claimed, updated, because people like myself that are going to plan out my week in advance, making sure that your information is updated. Because if you're not being found, then I don't even consider you as an option for that service, right? So I think small town, big towns, it really does affect everyone, because everyone has the phone, right? And all of our searches are based upon that phone now. Auto repair near me, and we're looking for that Google phone number or Yelp, right? So great question.
I think too, something that I hear a lot is like the importance of word of mouth, like especially in little towns, like, oh, well, word of mouth is really how I do my business. But in the digital marketing world, like that dollar a day Facebook ad, you can help generate some of that word of mouth very, very easily with a lower investment in a more rural area. So I definitely don't think discount the importance or the value of those platforms.
Certainly, and you're going to get people from larger geographic region coming to your shop too, if you're in a smaller area, I imagine. And
maybe if that's your goal, then you can customize your Facebook ad or whatever to reach that area. That can be part of your messaging or part of your branding plan. So yeah, exactly. Very flexible.
Here's a question. Is there any way to connect my CRM or POS system to my advertising?
Definitely. Yeah. Those two examples that I kind of showed at the end, that's exactly what we did. It does depend on which CRM or POS you're using. It takes a little more digging into what the customer exactly has or needs. But a lot of those things you can absolutely connect to some sort of conversion on Facebook or conversion on Google. And then now I can tell you spent $100, you had this many click-throughs, you had this many conversions, and you made this much money. But 100%, most of the CRMs and POS systems out there have some sort of mechanism to connect to whatever your digital marketing is.
I'm curious in one sense. Sometimes if I go to a site and I'm looking through it, a website for a company with services, if I go to Facebook, you'll see an ad show up or some information show up about that company. Is that something that can be done in the tire repair industry, or do you suggest at all?
Yeah, definitely. I think any sort of retargeting, it just you already know that you have kind of a pre-qualified audience, right? They've already been to your website, or they're already interested in something that you do. And maybe it's not the same as like, you forgot to add this to your cart. It's maybe not that direct, but again, just reaching somebody that you already know has seen you, getting those like 7 marketing touches that most people talk about. That's usually how many times you need to see a business before making like a decision on whether or not you want to buy from them. So really making it faster to get those secondary, 3rd, 4th, 5th messages out to those customers is definitely valuable in the automotive industry. And I think if you have a website, having a website retargeting audience is just always something that you can kind of rely on for more of those closer to the bottom of the funnel type messages.
And just to clarify, I think you mentioned that you only put certain information on Facebook. You use more of the nitty gritty stuff on Google, it sounds like anyway. Is that right? You're looking more Facebook ads, promos, those kind of things anyway?
Yeah, we just find that
a little more sizzle, I guess, anyway.
You can definitely do it on both platforms. We found just that Facebook is more of that brand awareness type platform. People are going there, they're seeing your ad. They're not necessarily like looking for something right now in a lot of cases, just compared to Google, where if I'm searching for brake repair, it's most likely not because I think brake repair is fun, right? It's because my brakes are out and I need to pay somebody to get that service done, right? So that is the difference. You can definitely do both on either one of them, but just in our experience, the way that Google works is it's more tailored to those bottom of the funnel purchase now style ads.
Excellent. Well, Jason and John, I wanted to ask if you have any final thoughts that you want to share with our audience before we leave today.
I think just thank you guys for coming and learning. That's really what we're all about. We want to help automotive business owners learn more about digital marketing and leverage it for themselves. I did mention it before, but if you go to our website, www.optimizesocialmedia.net, you can submit your information there. You can also download our case study, which is showing on the screen now. But if you don't want to read that case study, you want to talk to somebody directly, you want them to go over what you're doing now or what you can be doing better. We kind of have experts on standby exactly for that purpose. So submit your information and we'll get back to you within that 48-hour period to help you.
Excellent. What's that website again?
OptimizeSocialMedia.net.
OptimizeSocialMedia.net. Great.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank Jason Strand and John Napoli for a terrific presentation and for shedding some light on how you really can increase your business and put some more eyes on what you're doing out there and put your name out there in front on social media anyway. Today's Ask the Expert will be available for viewing on the events section of the Tire Business website very shortly. So you can look for that if you want to review the presentation and live stream that we did today. I'm Joe Pryweller with the Crane Global Polymer Group and Tire Business. Thanks for joining us at today's Ask the Expert, and thanks again to Optimize Social Media for sponsoring this session. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you to Tire Business too, and everyone that showed up. Much appreciated. Bye,
Thanks, Joe.